Apes together strong. Hey, what's up, you guys? Film fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to be reviewing War for the Planet of the Apes. So, War for the Planet of the Apes stars Andy Serkis and Woody Harrelson, and what this film is basically about. It's about after some certain things happen to Caesar and the apes. Now Caesar wants his revenge on the Colonel, who's played by Woody Harrelson, and some things happen along the way. So, what did I think of War for the Planet of the Apes? Now, as all of you know, I went into this movie with some pretty high expectations. I mean, this is my second most anticipated film of the entire year. I love Rise and both Dawn. They were both my best movies of those respected years. I just was so excited for this movie. This was honestly not only just one of my most anticipated movies of the year, just one of my most anticipated movies of honestly my entire life, because I just wanted to see what they were going to do with wrapping up this trilogy. I was so invested because, at the end of Dawn and everything, they really set up of what they're going to, try to do with War for the Planet of the Apes. And I was like, okay, I'm ready for this third installment. I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. And I gotta say, yeah, this was everything I could have possibly have wanted out of this third installment. Yes, people, believe the hype. It's incredible. It really is. I'm so happy with this movie. It's so fantastic. I absolutely love War for the Planet of the Apes. It's such an incredible third installment and a fantastic ending to what is an incredible trilogy in my eyes. So, let's get into my positives with the film. My positives are, first being the acting. The acting is really great in this film. Andy Serkis, of course, as Caesar. He does such a fantastic job in this movie. He's so great as this character. He really is. By far his best performance is as this character. And he really does show his, because Andy Serkis is a really great actor. He really is. But these movies, to me, are really the ones that really show his presence the most and really show his acting range the most. And he does such a great job in this film. I absolutely love him in this movie. He gives such a phenomenal performance and really does have that range and presence in this movie. And he does such a great job with that in this film. I absolutely love him in this movie. He does such a phenomenal job. And just nominate this guy for Best Actor already. Come on now. Just, please. Seriously. He deserves it. And this movie proves it. Like, seriously. He gives such an incredible performance in this movie. Woody Harrelson in this film as the Colonel. He was great. I thought he did such a great job in this film as the Colonel. He really does bring a menacing presence to his character, and he was really, really great. I thought Woody Harrelson did such a fantastic job in this film. And there's a scene in this movie, which I won't spoil, of course, but there's a scene where Woody Harrelson and Caesar have a confrontation between each other. And it was by far my favorite scene in the movie because just the acting and just the way that both actors brought their presence in that scene, and just a confrontation between them. It was so well acted, and it was so great. Like, it really was so fantastic. It really was. And really, just that scene showed why those two are so fantastic to me. And why they gave such great performances. Like, they bring such presence to their roles. And Woody Harrelson just does an absolutely incredible job in this film as the Colonel. The rest of the acting's really good too. Steve Zahn is actually in this movie. He plays Bad Ape. And I know some people have said he's like the weakest part, like one of the weakest parts of this movie, which I really agree with. I thought he, he brought something to this movie that really wasn't brought in the original two movies. He does bring humor, and it actually works to me. It really does, and he does such a great job, as like kind of the comedic effect of the movie, and he does such a great job. He really does. He was really good as his character. So yeah, and the rest of the acting is really good too. The action sequences, when they do happen, they are great. They really are. I do love the action sequences when they do happen, and they were so well filmed and really well shot as well. And they were pretty great. They really were. They were so fantastic. So yeah, the action sequences were really great when they do happen. And what I mean by when they do happen, because this movie, I know it's called War for the Planet of the Apes, so you're expecting like, oh, this is gonna end, this is gonna be like one big giant war. Not necessarily, really. I didn't really expect that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't, even though it was called War for the Planet of the Apes, I didn't really expect it to be like one big giant war, because honestly, like with the first two movies, like just knowing what kind of a trilogy this was, I figured it wasn't going to be like that really. And and that didn't bother me one bit, because more or less this movie is more of a character study of a film. And they do such a great job with that. Like, it really made me invested into these characters so much. Like, it really does. Like, this movie is more of a character study of a film, and I was just so invested into it. And really, I kind of, applaud them for going in more of a character direction with this movie, with this third installment, than say like a grand epic like finale type of a film. And I honestly kind of applaud them for going with that in that direction for this movie. They really do a great job with that. They really do a fantastic job of really focusing on characters and being a really great character study of a film. So yeah. I will say this, the ending to the movie, I don't really want to spoil it. As much as I kind of want to talk about it, I don't really want to spoil it for people. But I will say this, though. The ending to this movie is perfect. This is probably my favorite ending to any movie this year so far. Like, just the way that they wrap up this trilogy is so perfect. They really do. They wrap it in a nice little bow, and it's perfect. It really is. Like, I was so emotional during it. It was just a perfect way to end this trilogy to me. Like, I really think so. I think the ending to this movie really ends this trilogy on such a perfect note. And I love that. And, like with movies like the original Star Wars trilogy or the Toy Story trilogy, really, like, they wrap up with the third installment, they wrap up the trilogy perfectly. And this is, honestly, can be one of those examples, really. It really can be, because just the way that they wrap up this trilogy is literally perfect. And I love that. They literally wrap up this trilogy perfectly, and this ending is incredible. Like I said, this is probably my favorite ending of the entire year so far. So yeah. The writing with this movie is fantastic. I absolutely love the writing with the film. It's so well written. The dialogue for all the characters is so great. The directing is fantastic with this movie. The directing is just beyond fantastic with this film. It's so well directed with this movie. I absolutely love the directing with this film. It's well directed. It's very well shot. Very well edited. The cinematography is gorgeous with this movie. I absolutely love the cinematography with this film. Just Matt Reeves directs the crap out of this movie. He really does. Matt Reeves directs the absolute crap out of this movie, and he does such a phenomenal job. Like, he really does. I absolutely love his directing with this movie, and he's going to direct the Batman. Bring it on. He is going to do a fantastic job, and he really does do such an incredible job with this movie. He really does direct the crap out of this movie, and he really does put all of his heart and passion into this film, and he did such a great job. So yeah. The visual effects. At this point, I'm starting to believe that these are actual apes and not people doing motion capture, because that's how great the visual effects look in this movie. Like, the visual effects have gotten better within each movie, because they were great in Rise, they were beyond fantastic in Dawn, and it's just mouth your jaw into the floor amazing with War. Like, just the visual effects are so incredible with this movie. Like, if this doesn't win Best Visual Effects, I don't know how it wouldn't, because they make you believe these are apes. Like, they legitimately got apes to act in this movie. It literally seems like that, because just the motion capture and the visual effects are so fantastic. Like, this is definitely the best use I've ever seen of motion capture put onto film. Like, just the way that they do it in this movie is so incredible. And the visual effects are so fantastic with this movie. They are so incredible. And finally, the pacing with this movie. The pacing is really great. This movie is almost 2.5 hours long. And it moves at such a nice pace. It really does. It really moves at such a nice, natural pace, in my opinion. Like, it really does. And some people thought the second act was really slow. And honestly, I didn't really feel like that. I was still invested. Like, I was really invested in this movie. My eyes were glued to the screen. Like, seriously, there was never a time I was bored with this movie. I was so invested into this film. So overall, War for the Planet of the Apes, yeah, this was great. This was really fantastic, honestly. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I really don't know if anything could beat this for me for Best Movie of the Year. This was really perfect in every way, to be honest with you. I loved everything about this movie. It is such a phenomenal film, and you all should go out and see it, because, yeah, it's great. It's really great. So it's time for my official grade. No need for all that junk. A+. It's an A+ movie. No question to me that this movie deserves an A+. And to think, this is only the 4th time in me watching and reviewing movies that all 3 movies in the trilogy got an A+. And rightfully so, because all 3 movies are fantastic, and War is the best one out of all of them to me. This movie shows why I love films and why I love reviewing them for you guys. This shows why I love movies. It really does. I love War for the Planet of the Apes a lot. It is a phenomenal movie in every way, from the acting to the character-driven story to the ending that just wraps up everything perfectly, to the visual effects. Everything about this movie is great to me. There's not one thing to me that is negative. Like, seriously, there's not one thing that I did not like about this movie. Everything about this film is so fantastic. And I really do believe that this Planet of the Apes trilogy will be that trilogy from this decade that I think a lot of people will remember as, yeah, that trilogy. That was fantastic. And I got to witness them all. And it's so great. It really is. If you've never seen any of them, do yourself a favor and please see them, because these movies show why I love film, especially War. It is one of the best conclusions to a trilogy I've ever seen, and it's so fantastic. I absolutely love this movie. I can't stress enough how much I love this film. It definitely deserves an A+. So, well, if you've seen War for the Planet of the Apes, what did you think of it? Leave it in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.